we can now imagine a completely new field of UX because of AI.
Exactly. I mean, that's, I think, what we were alluding to earlier. We're so stuck on the sort of visual UIs and, all the things, all the points we were discussing for Yasukawa, that was so visually based. And this is pretty much becoming outdated. The new UX frontier is really going to be one that relies on your user interface being things like voice or natural language. Forget about the inputs and buttons that we sort of see on traditional UI layouts. These sort of natural language interfaces are going to let, all the non-technical and non-expert users control robots. I think any of the UX designers, listening to this, it's a complete mind shift. We're going to be designing now for things like timing, pacing, turn taking, rather than screens and buttons. We're going to be focusing on intent modeling and not just, this visual action triggers this. Designing non-visual feedback loops is going to be what we're focusing on a lot. And how the user is going to feel confident that their commands actually worked. Again, a change from this 2D space, these flat visuals, to 3D, because robots live in a 3D space, not on 2D screens. So we're going to be considering things like proximity, their gaze, their body position, the environmental context. It's going to become a lot more complex, but potentially a lot more rewarding to design as well. Today, we've sort of started designing for conversational UIs, but it's really different when we look at robotics, because at some point they're going to need to take a lead or they're going to pause. So there's a whole different level of interaction there. And it's taking it from these passive interfaces to how do we design for what is essentially a trust building agent. Our UX and how we design the robot has got to be there to build trust, to set boundaries, to ensure transparency of how it's working, thinking, all those sort of things. Processing, should I say, rather than thinking. It's really from aesthetics to ethics, more emphasis on things like cultural norms. How is your personal space? Even that goes to sort of cultural norm as well. Where are you operating? What is a acceptable personal space? What is data sensitivity now? What should it be listening to? What shouldn't it be listening to? What should it be recording? What shouldn't it be? And also consent to do that. It's a whole different paradigm, I think, of how we're going to design.
Yeah, and I think one of the most important topics is when you create a product, what you're trying to do is solve a user's pain point. You can have all the features in the world, but the biggest thing is solving a pain point. And the pain point in robotics is the setup time. You want to be set up and keep going, and just you want that manufacturer how much you can output. If you can output more, great. So if it takes a long time to set up, that's cost and time and it's expense. So with AI, they've reduced time because of AI and deployment time. And there's this one company, it's out of Berkeley based, it's an AI startup. It's called Jacoby Robotics. They have basically cut down, I think it's a 95% reduction in setup time compared to traditional.
Yeah, I heard about this. Yeah, it's pretty impressive. Wow.
Yeah, and they have a Jacoby palletizer. So, robots that have these big palletizing cells, instead of taking weeks or months, now you can, integration now completes within a matter of hours or a single day. And that's amazing progress.
I'm curious, in video games, cheat codes let you skip months of grinding to unlock special abilities instantly. Have you ever wished for something similar for your software challenges? What if there's a way to instantly access 20 plus years of specialized expertise instead of developing it all internally? What if you could solve in weeks what might otherwise take months or years? Would you agree that most organizations face a steep learning curve when implementing new software solutions? At my company IIIMPACT, we serve as that cheat code for companies looking to transform complex software into intuitive experiences that users love and that drive real business results. Would it be valuable to explore? And how might this work for your specific situation? Visit impact.io for a free strategy session focused on your unique challenges.